Can't lie, Arsenal fans. I don't want to get excited. I don't want to get gassed. But at the time of making this video, I've just finished watching Arsenal's 3-0 victory against Nottingham Forest again, folks. And listen, it's a long season. We're 4 games in. I'm not gonna lie, it could be a movie. I don't want to get gassed. And well, movies is a subjective topic, people, but it could be a movie. It could actually be a movie. Like so much things look positive right now. Like the depth. The first thing we got to talk about, Arsenal fans, and yeah, forget tactics and all that. Just the first thing we got to talk about here is the depth, the good, the bad, the ugly, the talking points. Because let's be honest, Arsenal fans, even myself, you do have them. Oh yeah, like the other, like I guess. Kind of prior to the last 2 games, is Wanyeri going to get minutes? How's he going to get that player in and that one and whatnot? But 4 games in, you're seeing why depth is cool. And the first thing I would say, whether you like Mikel Arteta or not, if I was Mikel Arteta, I haven't seen his press conference comments, people, but if I was Mikel Arteta, I would double down on everything I said about Mikel Merino, whether he goes on to have the best season ever or the worst one, because, you know, that's one reason actually why I think it could be a movie, because whether you like Arteta or not, in these press conferences, he's seeming a bit more cheesed off, like he's had enough, like fair enough. Probably how we're all feeling as Arsenal fans. Like, forget the media. We all know the standards are not the same. Like, I just at this moment in time, people, I've seen the highlights of Brentford versus Chelsea. Great game between the two sides. Certain man have scored their first goal allegedly from open play since January. Not many people would know that, and I'm not criticizing the player. I just know if that applied to any one of my footballers, the whole world, even people that don't watch football, would know about that. But cool, part the double standards off for a second, people. He's getting cheesed off. Like, oh yeah, you said we played 3 DMs, and obviously Marino did his thing midweek. And while Marino didn't score and assist and whatnot, and wasn't the major player in that, I do think he had a good game. I will say this: those are the kind of games, in hindsight, you want to see Marino play in midfield. He had a good game. Him and Zubamendi, the Sociedad boys, and obviously Odegaard came off injured. We have to start picking up Wanyeri a bit more, Arsenal fans. Like, we have to, man. I know, as I said, we're new to the depth. Eze will get onto him. Gyökeres will get onto him. Zubamendinho, I told you, look, he's cold. I told you, look, he's cold. Fair enough. You know, he struggled at Anfield. It was Zubamedi at Anfield. It's Zubamendinho, and I've told you he's lit. We take L's, but he just gets it, man. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate football with Zubamendi. Like, he just understands football. He just does the right things. He's just a good footballer. He's what I want to see at my football club. You know, and even on the depth, like Declan Rice is on the bench. While I'd rather have these players available, there's no Saka, there's no Saliba. Ben White's in the squad but not playing. Couldn't tell you what's going on with Norgard. And there's probably players I'm missing out. We have to start gassing up Wanyeri a bit more. Brilliant off the bench again. Shades of Leeds. But what I like from Wanyeri's performance is something that I believe he needs to add into his game. He might not have grabbed the headlines necessarily today, but he's more active over the minutes he's playing. Of course, he's a Bobby Dazzler, capable of moments of brilliance. And there's a certain team we're playing next weekend. They need to have managers because our Haaland players, and there's a new one in Max Dowman. They might do the same thing. I want to win that. But yeah, man, like, obviously I want to see Odegaard fit like every player, but we have been asking for Wanyeri, and we have heard murmurings going into the season that he's looking, well, they're looking to play him more centrally. I think he did very well today. Calafiori, I love Calafiori, man. The guy's so chaotic, man. The guy's so chaotic. He does his job at left back. I think second half he was moving a bit bad, but just does his job at left back. Was obviously involved in what led to Eze finding Gyökeres for the goal. Just does everything he needs to do, and for no reason. Sometimes he's right wing, but it makes sense. Like, I kind of like that. Give or take, sometimes that will shoot you in the foot, but I like that. And we're only 4 games in. And, you know, while we're jolly that we've won, we're happy as well, unrelated, because emotionally we've had to sit with the defeat of Liverpool. 4 games in, we look in good stead. Unfortunately, there is injuries. Unfortunately, I still think there's stuff that we can do in the final third. But saying that, we've scored 3 today. We've obviously scored, 5 against Leeds, failed to score against Liverpool, did score against United. So, is what it is. I think the depth is being really put under pressure early doors, if I'm honest. And shout out to Christian Mosquera. Obviously, shout out to Madueke. For Madueke, can you make this the minimum level of performance? And if not that, even better, start to get some goals and assists. Had a positive game, having a positive period as a footballer, really and truly. You know, when you look at it from an outside view without emotion, he's made a big money move to, you know, a massive club. Obviously, scored for his country. You know, Liverpool was hardly anything to scream and shout about in terms of an attacking sense from our football club. But if there was one player that looked like they might make something happen, it was Noni. And obviously, he looked very positive today. Lovely to see Gyökeres. You know, there's a lot of haters that are going on platforms and talking mad. Fair enough. If he wears jeans, say what you want. Cool. Maybe he does wear jeans. My bigger question on the pitch, my bigger question is make sure your strikers have scored more than him, because it's a shameless thing, but ain't he top goal scorer probably at the time of making his bid in the Prem when it's all said and done. And this is his pre-season. And again, I'm even more vexed at Arsenal because, again, you create more clear-cut chances, he gets the goals. And I will say this, Eze's sick. I can't like Eze sick. Eze sick. It weren't the greatest of games necessarily from Eze individually, but moments of brilliance. Obviously got an assist, and even that, like, I don't want to make this a conversation, but Trossard, you did get an assist, but I don't really see you do that. Martinelli, I don't know if you've got that in your locker. And actually, from Gyökeres, just to be in the right place at the right time and put the ball in the back of the net. But big up them two, and looks like there's bromance developing, in terms of how they're celebrating and things. So, yeah, man, things are in good stead. But I still think we need to find other ways of playing. I still think there's bigger questions. But everything's working right now, people. And, at the same time, like, can we just take our minds back, people? When it's all said and done, we have to just enjoy being a football fan. Isolated to today. Come on, man. Look what Zubamendi's done. Zubamendinho. Slightly from a corner as well. Corner boys in the building. Shout out to Madueke on the corners as well. For the life of me, at the time of making this video, I can't remember, but definitely at some point in this season, in these 4 games we've played, we defo had somebody right-footed taking the corners where I wanted an in-swing on what Madueke was kind of doing today. I remember getting vexed about that. So shout out to the gaffer for that. But come on, man. Look at that. Look at that. And it just proves a funny old thing in football. Goals are like London buses because he doesn't score often and he got 2 of them. Shout out to him for the header. So, yeah, man. The new summer signing scored. Players that are here, like Mikel Merino, I think you had a good game. But this is my challenge for Arteta. Not that I'm in a position for that. Today, you put the right players on the pitch and they did the thing. Sometimes that's what we need to do. Sometimes Merino at Anfield, I'm not saying it didn't work or wouldn't work, but sometimes maybe because you've got Eze. And even that, like, God forbid Odegaard's out for a while, folks. But if he is, because again, I'm no physio, haven't seen Mikel Arteta's comments, but it feels like he suffered a shoulder injury, a few weeks ago, apologies. Looked like he's over it, looked bright for Norway in the international break. And it might be a different shoulder, but if it's the same one, like, how are you all right? Is it just another fall? Is there, God forbid, but is you lot talking about surgery and whatnot? But even that, like, some Arsenal fans would say, big up Odegaard, and I'm not necessarily saying myself. Maybe some fans are emotionally attached to it, but I'd ask you lot, people, like, did we look better when Odegaard came off? Because one year he did well, and obviously Zubamendi and Merino and all those sort of things. So it's a good day at the office. We're in good stead, but I still think Arteta is going to have to learn to manage the squad. It's one thing having the depth. It's another thing utilising it. Shout out Mascara. Still think we got to find other ways of playing broadly. Still think we need to do a lot better in the final third, which, again, it is a criticism or a positive, fair critique, but you could look at that on the bright side to a degree and say, if you're having these questions about us, which I am, and I'll remain vocal on them, we've, fair enough, there's context behind that, but we scored 3 against Forest today. We obviously got 5 against Leeds. We did score against United, and Liverpool's the only time we couldn't put the ball back in there. So yeah, man, we're looking all right, man. It looks like it could be a movie. It looks like it could be a movie, and we're just doing the job, man. We're just doing the job. For me, my challenge is, if I'm honest, can we win in midweek to start the Champions League campaign off well? Can we get 3 points against City? And you can only look at what's in front of you, but Newcastle away, seeing their striker, he looks a handful. He scored on his debut and things, and Newcastle's a team you have to come correct. But yeah, man, we won today. We enjoyed today. We improve what we need to improve. But yeah, man, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Probably no reason to make this vid, but hopefully I've entertained you lot, man. Always